leaked video allegedly showing Minister of Justice Carl Stewart brutally assaulting his wife, Dita Stewart.
Good morning, Madam Prime Minister.
I couldn't tell when was the last time I saw you.
We are doing everything in our power to find Mrs. Stewart and bring her home to her family.
Bring her in. Dita, this is Michael Carrington. Him is the guy who's going to get you out of this country.
I don't do that kind of work anymore.
Who else have the means? The skills?
She can't hide anywhere where me can't find her.
I'm going to kill her.
Say the word.
Welcome back. So joining us is Sharanda Ferrell to discuss the storyline of the Jamaican Bodyguard, a television series which addresses themes of retaliation, domestic abuse, and the political environment in Jamaica. Sharanda, good morning to you. How are you?
Talia. I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Awesome.
No, I mean, we just saw a clip a while ago, but could you provide an overview of the Jamaican Bodyguard?
All right, so basically what it is, it's a story about the choice between loyalty and justice. Because Michael, who is the lead character, he is in retirement and he gets called out of retirement by the Prime Minister of Jamaica, who needs him for this particular job, which is getting this woman out of the country who is being abused by her husband, who is a politician.
Okay.
So there's quite a bit of, it's a political action drama is what I call it actually. So Michael now then has to get her out of the country without her husband knowing where she gone, and him have to hide her, and bad man a run him down, and Ray, and the husband corrupt, and him have all kind of linkages, Ray. So that's really the basic storyline. But that's just the pilot.
That's just the pilot.
Yes.
So it actually touches on a number of topics. We're talking about revenge, domestic violence, the political landscape, retaliation, lots of things,
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
What inspired you to create this TV series that addresses such complex and possibly sensitive issues?
Well, interestingly enough, my company Yardbridge Entertainment, I came back home in 2019 and Mama Rona lick, so we never really get to stride the way we wanted to. And so we'd been working on a number of ideas, if you will, for a minute. And then I had a conversation with a friend who also ended up being our investor.
Okay.
And in that conversation, we had another friend in common who is actually a Jamaican bodyguard. And it was in that conversation, I'm like, something, we should have told that story, you know? And so we used that as kind of just a spark, if you will.
Yeah.
And we had many conversations with this person. And then from there, we built out our characters. And we recognized that this is now giving us a platform where we can speak to all of the wonderful political things that are happening in Jamaica,
Okay.
and also all the other things like domestic violence. But the story will transcend beyond that because we're looking into co-producing partnerships with South Africa.
Okay.
So what's going to happen is we're going to be pulling in stories that connect Jamaica to that side of the world and vice versa.
Okay, all right. I mean, what message or impact do you hope that this series will leave on their viewers?
To be honest, it's really entertainment,
Okay.
And to spark conversation about the fact that there is so much going on in our environment that we're not even focused on what is really happening. We're being distracted by other things.
Yeah.
And it is important for us as citizens of Jamaica and of the world to pay attention and talk about the things that are not working within our political landscape.
Yeah, to try and even fix them.
If we can.
If we can.
And if we can't fix it, just call the bodyguard.
Just call. All right, so you touched on the political landscape, but another theme that is portrayed a lot during the series is domestic violence. How do you manage to, or how do you even approach the theme in such a way that it's not sensationalized or trivialized?
It's about how we write the characters.
Okay.
So one of the things, my writer is Amber Shivans, and one of the things that we focus on is making our characters real. Because if you are a real person, somebody that you can say, boy, I know that girl there, or I'm a neighbor, or I'm a friend, or whatever it is, then it makes it a lot realer, and it's not just about caricatures of a woman being hit by a man or a man being hit by a woman. It's about a real person on a real journey, having real experiences, and how then do we speak through them with their own voice to tell their story. And it's the reality or the realness of the characters that I found in my own research based on my work that touches the audience. audience.
Will connect.
Yes, because people can say, boy, me know how she feel. I don't know if you've ever watched this series on Netflix called Maid. When I watched it, when the girl in the hole underneath the tree, I say, oh God, me know what that emotion they feel like, you know. And it wasn't about watching her get hit.
Yeah.
That was emotional abuse, even though we know that there was some physical abuse. But it worked because it was real.
I see you getting a little emotional here, Sharon. Eyes. Am I feeling what I'm feeling? Why are you getting so emotional?
I'm emotional about
this?
my work because for me, it is less about just doing something and doing something that you're passionate about.
Yeah. My viewers, I hope when this is her and it's that she get teary-eyed enough. So you know that
I makeup, I know me. She dropping on my eye.
It seems you're quite connected to these topics. It's personal, is it?
No, not so much personal in terms of the topics themselves, but they're personal for me in terms of creating Jamaican content. In Jamaica, by Jamaicans, that are things that's tangible, that we can touch, and then taking this and putting it on a global stage, so people can view us in a different kind of way. You say, I could athlete them and make you proud now. And that I want to do with our landscape in terms of film and media production. Boy,
Sharon, it seems like you've put your heart and your soul into this project. I can just tell by and your big tour. Man. I can just tell by speaking to you and just how connected and emotional you are about it. So we touched on the political landscape. We touched on domestic violence, revenge, because a lot of the times, especially when we watch shows, revenge is a powerful plot driver. So how does the concept of revenge contribute to the character development or overall, tension within the series?
Well, for Michael, without giving away too much, Michael discovers a number of things along his journey. And the people who he thought he could trust end up being the people who actually betrayed him. Because it's in an effort to solve the murder and rape of his mother and his sister that he goes on this journey. And while he's on this journey, the people who he's closest to, the people who he calls friends, who calls him friends, are the ones who he recognizes are the ones who betrayed him. So then there's a high level of, okay, how do I fix this? So he's trying to fix the issue of what happened with his mother and his sister, and then on the journey, more things come up. And so how do I decide between loyalty and justice?
All right. So, I mean, it seems you have a lot in store for us, and it is called the Jamaican Bodyguard. How does the Jamaican setting and cultural nuances play a significant role in all of this?
All right. So for me, again, as a filmmaker, it is important that who we are is put on the screen. Because the tagline for my company is Caribbean Stories, Global Audiences. So when foreign people look on our thing, they must see it says Jamaican. So first of all, I'm maintaining all Jamaican actors. If it's a situation where we're co-producing with another country and we need to involve those actors, absolutely. So accent not change. I feel we accent that. You understand? If we have to put the subtitle, we're gonna do it. But I'm maintaining the sound of us because our language and the way we speak, and it's very beautiful, it's very musical, so we have to maintain that. It will be filmed in Jamaica. So we're talking about showcasing all of those places. When we watch foreign TV and me see the bull, me know so then they are Wall Street. So when people watch our Jamaican Bodyguard and then see the clock, then they know they are half a tree.
Indeed.
So the things that speak to us as Jamaica, so the look of it, the sound of it, the feel of it.
It's going to be authentically Jamaican.
Absolutely.
Sharando, when we can watch this? I got to wrap up, but when can we watch it?
Not a problem. So right now, we are speaking with distributors, and it is going to be on a global streaming network. That's as much as I can say in this moment.
So where is it at Jamaican Bodyguard on social media? What social media?
It is at the Jamaican Bodyguard.
All right, Sharando, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're looking forward to watching the series. All right, guys, stay with us. More to come when we return.